Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. This is Happy English Podcast, episode 455, The Silent T. If you've been following my YouTube channel recently, you know that I've been focusing on natural American English pronunciation. Well, today, I thought I would bring that lesson flow to the podcast. Actually, it was a request from one of my students, so Vincent, this one's for you. I noticed that quite often when there's an N and a T together in a word, us Americans, often drop the T in usual pronunciation. A common example of this is the word 20. 20, 18, 19, 20. 20. The spelling is T-W-E-N-T-Y. 20. But we often drop the T, which comes after an N, and in this word we don't say 20, we say 20. 20. I've got a list of about 20 or so other words that we usually do this with, so let's check it out and let's practice the pronunciation. By the way, as I always tell my students here in New York and all over the world on Skype, it's not so necessary for you to pronounce English this way. Of course, if you do, you'll sound more natural. But it's really important for you to be able to understand this pronunciation when you hear it spoken. That's why I want to practice it. In a way, this is a pronunciation and listening lesson. All right, let's get to it. Accounting. Accounting becomes accounting. He works in the accounting department. He works in the accounting department. Advantage. Advantage becomes advantage. The home team always has the advantage. The home team always has the advantage. Authentic. Authentic becomes authentic. That is an authentic 18th century picture. That's an authentic 18th century picture. Counter. Counter becomes counter. Put it on the counter. Please put it on the counter. Enterprise. Enterprise. Enterprise becomes enterprise. You remember Star Trek?
Enterprise. Enterprise.
That ship was named the Enterprise. Entertaining. Entertaining becomes entertaining. Entertaining. That musical was very entertaining. Gentleman. Gentleman becomes gentleman. Gentleman. He's a real gentleman. He's a real gentleman. Gigantic. Gigantic becomes gigantic. It's a gigantic rock. It's a gigantic rock. Horizontal. Horizontal becomes horizontal. There are several vertical and horizontal lines in this photo. There are several vertical and horizontal lines in this photo. Identification. Identification becomes identification. Please show your identification. Please show your identification. Identify. Identify becomes identify. I can't identify that sound. I can't identify that sound. Identity. Identity becomes identity. Identity. They need to check your identity before you can enter the room. Incentive. Incentive becomes incentive. Incentive. What's my incentive to keep doing this? What's my incentive to keep doing this? Interested. Interested becomes interested. Interested. Are you interested in modern art? Are you interested in modern art? Interesting. Interesting becomes interesting. Interesting. It's a really interesting book. It's a really interesting book. Interfere. Interfere becomes interfere. Interfere. I wish you wouldn't interfere with my personal situation. I wish you wouldn't interfere with my personal situation. International. International becomes international. International. There were many international guests at the party. There were many international guests at the party. Intersection. Intersection becomes intersection. Let's cross the intersection and then look for a place for lunch. Let's cross the intersection and then look for a place for lunch. Interview. Interview becomes interview. Interview. I had a nice interview with the CFO. I had a nice interview with the CFO. Painting. Painting becomes painting. Painting. It's a nice painting. It's a nice painting. Pointed. Pointed becomes pointed. She pointed at the building. She pointed at the building. Quantity. Quantity becomes quantity. Can you tell me the quantity? Can you tell me the quantity? Sentence. Sentence becomes sentence. Please write that sentence on the board. Please write that sentence on the board. And finally, as we started with, 20. 20 becomes 20. We need 20 more chairs for the meeting. We need 20 more chairs for the meeting. Well, that's our English lesson for today. If you want to read these examples or get word-for-word transcripts of the Happy English podcast, just visit myhappyenglish.com and check lesson 455. And don't forget, you can check out my brand new American English pronunciation course now available. Just visit myhappyenglish.com and click online courses. Hey, thanks for studying, and I'll see you next time at Happy English.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English. Get happy. Happy English.